On the profile interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with the Acting General Secretary of NUHI. He brought us up to speed on how workers are faring in the electricity sector while emphasizing on the need for the federal government to call for a state of emergency in the electricity sector. Take a listen. It's good to have you on the program, sir, and congratulations on your appointment. It's the first time I'll be having a conversation with you.
Thank you.
Very quickly, let's move on to the crux of the matter today, which is the increase in electricity tariff. I know that the Nigerian Union of Electricity Employees have their experience with government before now. First, how is the union actually receiving this information that we're just getting?
Well, thank you. I know the union are Nigerians, and we know the kind of poverty situation in the country now. So the increase is 8 times. I think the government would have paid more attention in making sure there is accessibility to electricity for Nigerians before you think of increasing the tariff. And from the tariff increase, from 68 naira to 225 naira, that means over 300% increase. And it's definitely going to affect the businesses. Now, diesel is in the high cost of 1,500, 1,600. How many people can afford it? The bandit I'm talking of is the bourgeois, the elites, which controls just 15% of the population. What happened to others? As a businessman, I can decide to give those people living in Ikoyi, VI, 24 hours electricity and collect my money. But what are the people living at Ikorodu, Yanabaja, Ibeju? How would they, are they not Nigerians? The target of Bank A is impoverishing Nigerians the more. The poverty people cannot even afford to eat. And you are talking of mega minimum wage of 30,000 naira. And you're now inflicting more injuries to Nigerians. The government should feel so empathic about what is happening in the country. This tariff increase is not a way. It's totally not accepted by the union. We are against it.
Okay, now we know that the electricity sector was privatized at a particular point in time. And it was sold out to some people who are managing it at the moment. How would you rate the performance of the discos and the gencos?
I think it was last 2 years, even the Senate are calling for review of the privatization sector. Even the vice president there said that Professor Osibanjo said that the need for the review the whole process. It has not worked. Privatization has not worked in Nigeria. Because since after privatization, they have not added 1 megawatt to the system. Rather, what they do is to collect the money. And they make more money in estimated bills. And government are giving the directive to go and give meters, mass metering, but none. You cannot even afford to buy any meter now. There's no meter. So what is the Regulatory Commission doing on how to make sure that Nigerians have meters? Because if I have a meter, I can say, okay, I buy 5,000 naira, I'll manage it. When it finishes, I recharge again. But when you're on a estimated bill, I can come and arrest, okay, this high-blue area or this locality, I'll give you 100,000. 100,000 for electricity bill. Well, I'm not sure of eating 3 times a day. It's like pouring fuel inside fire to burn. People are angry. And it's clear that he has not won. They should be thinking of how to review, to reform the sector. The banks are after the discourse because they collected money from the banks. Rather, what they're after is how much they're going to make. And they're making so much, they're making Nigerians. We are paying for darkness. I am talking as a Nigerian.
So moving away from the gencos and the discos performance, what are the practical solutions to this problem so that we do not have to pay for darkness?
I think the best solution we can do is going to alternative sources of energy. There's wind, there's sun, especially in the north. That's where we can harvest other sources of energies. Some countries are going to that. In South Africa now, they have solar farms, wind farms, turbines where they generate another source of energy apart from the normal hydro and thermal generation. So these are the areas we are looking at. What do we do to revamp the sector? What do we do to get other sources of energies to add to what we have? You are talking of moving from fossil fuel to green energy, but now do we even have the fossil fuel? There are a lot of coal in Kogi and Enugu being abandoned. Nothing is happening. So these are the things we need to do. What do we do? For the private sector have failed in the energy sector. And the truth is, the privatization was done based on the buyers are the sellers. The same people that sold it are the same people that bought it. Man no man, paddy paddy. That's just the truth. And that's the pain of industrialization. That's the pain of economic development. Without light, no country develops without electricity.
So the question now would be that what is the practical solution to this particular challenge of us as a country or as workers providing electricity that is needed? We know that government has a bigger role to play. What if the private sector actually came in and there's not much significant improvement? What then is the solution? Will you be recommending public-private partnership? Would you be recommending that banks that have taken over these entities should they be invited by government, and government should acquire the properties once again so that they probably would get a hold of what is happening in the sector? What are the practical things that needs to be done from the workers' perspective?
What they did with so-called privatization was calling a dog a bad name to hang it. Because the same obsolete machines that are still using, the same machine they say that are obsolete, that's the same machine that are still using up to now. And it has failed. Not that they have increased around 5 times tariffs increase in this country after privatization, and it has not worked. So what we are going to asking for the review of the whole process. Come back to the drawing board. What did you do and doing it right? Calling the private sector, calling the public. Government, if you have the government that had that political will, they can do it.
So are you saying now that
it can be commercialized? It can be commercialized. Some people have licenses. If I have license, I can say, okay, in this local government, let me generate and transmit and distribute and make my money. But some people have license. Up to now, have not generated 1 watt. And I still there. So that's the issue there.
So what should be done to people that fall into that category? What should be done to them? And I would like to quickly ask, the model that is being adopted in Abia State, is this something that we can actually adopt as a country? Is it any cheaper?
It is. It may be. That's where that competition comes in. In geometric, that's where Abia getting the light. I have an option to geometric that give me 20 hours light, or go to EEDC that give me 5 hours or whatever. That means I've given an option, a new way to choose. Geometric, yes, give my right hand and partner with the governor of Abia State and give it the 24 hours light. Bravo. Then it's left for the Abians now to decide which one is better for me. Is I should go with EEDC that gives me lower tariff but less hours of light, or I go to a geometric that gives me 24 hours light and I pay higher.
So if that's the situation, from the workers' perspective, once again, is it something that can be modeled across the 36 states of the country?
It can be a submission because it was a state-owned, which we don't know how they got the whatever the workers' conditions and everything they did there. But what we are looking at, yes, we can learn from what they did and improve on it. It can go and suggest that government should take back the sector in the country. The government should take back the sector in the country and sit down and look at it. Commercialize it, yes. If I'm able to generate and distribute, give me that license. but not idea of being the buyers and the sellers that don't have no even experience to run the sector. No foreign direct investment came into the sector. Rather, what they did was to collect money from Nigerian banks. No managerial expertise. So that's the main problem of this. No new technology. The same old set of NEPA PSN that are still using, the same old transformers, the same old distribution network. None has changed. Most times now, Nigerians buy transformers for their community and invite the companies to come and connect, which is abnormal. So that's the problem. So we have to look at it holistically. How do you move from where we are? We are not heard from because IBIA model just started now. We need to look at the issues they're going to have. So we won't jump into it. But it gives them a leverage of commercial an option. EDC will not give me 10 hours. Geometry is giving me 20 hours. Which one do I go? Based on my salary. Based on affordability. So that's the problem there.
So fine, we know that most of this acquisition is now run by banks. What is the welfare of even the workers in the sector? One would assume that since Nigerians are paying more, maybe you workers are actually the greatest beneficiary. What has it been like?
If it's that one, we will ask them to increase the tariff so we can get more money. That's the truth. If you are looking at that, workers being so insensitive. But look at, we are talking as Nigerians now. The more tariff they collect, the union will go down and ask for more salary. But how many people are working in the electric sector? What happened to others? So we're looking at it as a Nigerian concept. What do we do? I know President Tinubu can do it. He has the political will to do it. That political will used to declare state of emergency, removal of subsidy in petroleum sector. It should go ahead and declare state of emergency in the electric sector and sit down and let's look at the whole scenario and come out with a blueprint on how to make it work. If you ask us to ask for salary increase, yes, we say, yeah, let them increase it to 500 naira. After all, the workers will benefit. The more tariff, the more salary we ask for. But we are not being selfish. We are being empathic because we are Nigerians. That's the thing there. So if we affect the common man, people are already hungry. The agitation, people don't eat 3 times a day. And the same 30,000 salary we are still earning. Transportation is there, school fees, housing is there. Then now, tariff. And most of them there are being estimated bills. And the NAC are not making an effort to make sure that the discourse going to that mass meeting the other day, they're not regretting them. And that would have been the first thing to do before I talk of tariff increase. Because if the increase is for the bourgeois, it's for the big guys, the elites there. And because it's cheaper for them, instead of running this of 1,500 a liter, they prefer to pay 200, even 250, even 300 to get to 4 hours life. It's better for them. But how many people can afford it? The barbers, the saloons. How can they pay that?
So finally, what will be your word for the government? What will be your word for your employers and Nigerians at large?
Nigerians, yes, let me start from Nigerians. I know when we are fighting, when they were fighting privatizations, Nigerians were saying that we are scared of losing our jobs. But now, they are talking now. We are saying that there's no gain in privatization. Privatization does not guarantee efficiency, does not guarantee effectiveness of the sector. And that's what we are in now. So Nigerians are talking last. And everybody wants that knows that now that the privatization has failed in the country. And the government should take the bull by the horn and come down and call the relevant stakeholders to discuss and come up with a blueprint on how to revamp the economy. But this is the bane of economic development in any country. If you get the decision right, other things will fall in. And in this case, they're enjoying because of tariffs increase. Yes, they're smiling to the banks. And people are crying. That's why sometimes when they go to the school, they attack our members. Because some of them are paying for darkness. They wait for you when you climb the to come down now. Some of them will use juju, some of them will use machetes. It's happening everywhere. So this goes down, decide to, okay, let me not give the people that attack us, the bourgeois in the city, give them 24 hours, 20 hours light, and give the other ones 4 hours light, 2 hours light, 1 hour light a day. We are not sure. Some are not even in the band at all. Some people that don't even have like once in a week, which band will you give them? Band 0 or be some band what? So that's the big problem. So you have to come back and look at the whole scenario. All decks, all hands must be on deck to make sure the electricity sector is revamped in this country.
So what do you think government can do to even stop the discrimination? Because I think it's discriminating for you to have band A, band B, band C. What can the government do? Is it declare a state of emergency? Is it to have a conference where every stakeholder will be seated to find a lasting solution so that we can have a country that is working efficiently for industries and for citizens as well?
Yes, like I said before, I see we treat it. The need for us to call all stakeholders to a round table and discuss and look for a way forward and look for possible solutions to this epileptic power supply in the country. Industries are closing up. A lot of industries are closing up. A lot of organizations are moving out of Nigeria because of epileptic power situation in the country. So all of us will look at it and say, what do we do that we didn't do right? Where do we go from there? How do you make it better? That's the second question we ask. Everybody, the market women be involved, the local government, the student union, all what do they call it?
Stakeholders.
The activists. Yes, everybody should be involved. All relevant stakeholders should be involved. Both the private sector, the government, the manufacturing association, the market women, non-informal sectors, formal sectors will be involved for them to discuss this issue and move a way forward.
Thank you very much for your time. It was an interesting conversation I had with you. And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.